So I'm going to go straight past, and it makes kind of a bit more sense anyway. I'm going to go straight past one of the great watersheds in Western thought. The moment that Martin Luther, except as he probably never did, stood up and said, "Here I stand. I can do no more. God have pity on my soul." So just past the Reformation, with its incredible, powerful effect on the idea of an individual. Back to the older version of freedom, where it's not really about being an individual. You don't have freedom as an individual. You have freedom as you're part of a community, you're part of a society, you have freedom under a God by working within a tradition. Now I'm not going to do an awful lot I'm only going to do one piece of Christian thought, and that's because of time. So if any of you came along to see Aquinas or Augustine, I'm really sorry. I'm going to do, in fact, somebody who wrote after Martin Luther. So, it's a bit naughty really. But he is a man who lost his life in the Reformation, and one who is also one of the great authors right at the end of the Catholic world, and who you will know through other contexts. I mean, of course, Thomas More. And most of you will now know the book I'm going to do. It's going to be Utopia. But I'm not going to do the second part, the stodgy bit about getting to Utopia, which is wonderful in the Gulliver's Travels kind of a way. No, for me, my money, the best bit of Utopia is the first book. And it's kind of traveller's tales, and because I'm an old storyteller, it will be done storyteller-wise. Okay? So it starts off in two voices. And I kind of think it speaks for itself, really. Apart from saying that I do think it is the most surprising of books that ever gets forgotten. So the first voice will be Thomas More, and the second will be Raphael. Did I ever tell you about my old friend Raphael and his many traveller's tales? No? And did I ever tell you, Thomas, about the time I was in the Southern Ocean and it rained so hard you had to get out a metal hat? I believe you mentioned it. All right. Did I ever tell you about the time I was in the Eastern Ocean and fish flew out the sea? Yes, and you caught them with a net and you ate them with a local root vegetable and you called it bubble and squeak. It won't catch on, people won't eat it. It is a wonder to me, Raphael, that you have not taken the service of some great king. I'm sure with all your many stories, you would be a treasured counsellor or jester. No, that won't do. No. I was once in England. Oh, you could have visited me. A horrible country. It rains all the time in England. Anyway, I was once in the house of a mighty man, Cardinal de Pole, Bishop of Lincoln. Oh, he's an excellent fellow. Yes, well, that's as maybe. But let me tell you what happened there. I was there, and I was enjoying his hospitality, when a man came in and said, "Oh, it is a wonder to me there are any left. We have hung 200 of them. This day at least. And last month we hung 200 more. Where are they all coming from?" And of course the Bishop of Lincoln, he said, "What do you mean, sir?" And this man, who was a lawyer, said, "Thieves. Thieves. Where are all the thieves in Britain coming from? We hang so many." So I piped up and I said, "What? Why are you surprised? I thought the entire point of English culture was to manufacture thieves. Isn't that what you're all trying to do?" It's certainly what you do. "What do you mean, sir?" "Well, think what you do with your soldiers. I mean, even ignoring the fact the way you brutalise them and dump a man on the streets. We are doing something about it. Maybe. Even ignoring that. Think about the culture of heroes that goes with them. A culture that rewards a few people with huge amounts and doesn't give anything to anyone else. What is that going to breed but envy and disquiet, dissatisfaction and thievery?" Well then, said the lawyer, "it is a wonder, it's just as well we hang a few." No, hanging them won't do any good. You hang a thief, what happens to, and you hang a mother, what happens to the children? Aren't they going to be thieves too? You can't hang thieves to cure thievery. Well, sir, what would you have us do? What is there other than hanging? We can't let them go free. No, I'm not saying that. No, in one of the places I visited, near Persia, nowhere in particular it was, they wonderful policy. You know what they did with thieves? They realised that most thieves came from poor backgrounds who were uneducated. So they put them in college. They gave them good education and then they made them go out and work hard. And they reformed them. And what's more, they did such public good that they would hire them out to other nations. In the end, they had to import more thieves because they had so few.
Well, this sounds like a wonderful policy. All right, you don't know, young man, how much good will come of your words. I have the ear of the king. We will do it in England. We will start to train our thieves.
No, it won't work in England. There's no point even trying in England. It can't work here.
Why not?
Because you see, sire, there's a foul beast despoiling your villages, destroying your fields. And as long as that is free on the fields of England, devouring all before it, you're never going to get rid of thievery.
Well, I'm a bit old, but I still have my suit of armour, and I'm sure the king will ride out. We'll do battle with this foul beast, and we'll reform the land.
You can't do battle with it. It's not that kind of animal. But perhaps you could do something about it, sir. Perhaps you peculiarly could. Do you want me to name this creature for you?
Yes, do so. Give me his name that I might have power over it.
Bear. It's sheep.
What, sir? I have more sheep than anyone in England.
I know, sir. I know you do. And think what those sheep do. Think of all the villages that have been scrubbed up that your sheep may safely graze. And where are the people who used to live in those villages? Where are their farms now, I ask you?
Well, I kind of assumed they had retrained.
No. To retrain takes a lifetime and most guilds are closed. They can't be trained. Where are they? They're on the streets. What can they be but thieves? Don't you see, sir? Don't you see? You cause thievery as truly as anyone else in the land. At which point they threw me out. You can imagine me, couldn't you? In the court of some mighty king, say the King of France, and he instructs the Duke of Nivier and says, "Let us invade Portugal. I want to go surfing." And then the Duke of Alençon says, no, let's invade Switzerland, I like chocolate. And then the Duke of Brittany says, no, let us invade Norway, I like skiing. And I pipe up and say, you can't go invading other nations. Other nations aren't yours to take, sire. It seems to me, in fact, France is too big for you. So why don't you give up half of it? And I proceed to tell them about one of the places I visited, Happylandia. And there in Happylandia, a very nice place it was, they had it as a rule that no king could rule more than a certain sized land. And when one time a king inherited the neighbouring land, they made him choose. Oh, there was, I can imagine, another time. Suppose the high matter of finance came up. And the Duke of Nivier said, let us have a tax on food, for we all eat. And the Duke of Alençon, who's a big tubby, said, no. If you tax food, then us fat, rich people will have to pay more. That is regressive taxation. No. Let us tax breathing, for we all must breathe. And then the Duke of Paris says, no, I've got a much better idea. Let's just make poverty illegal. That will raise us funds quite easily. And then I pipe up and say, no, sire, your people's money is not yours to take. You're not a thief. And then I proceed to tell them about Extatia. Very close to Utopia it is. Very close indeed. And there they have it as a policy that the king, on pain of death, can't earn more than 10 gold ducats. You see, it's the king's job to keep the currency circulating round and round and round. Works a treat. Think I'd escape with my life? I don't, Thomas, no. No point being a counsellor here. And anyway, I couldn't do any good. You can't have happiness on this side of the world.
Not at all. Why not, sir? We've got as much chance of it as anyone.
No, you can't have happiness as long as you've got private property.
What do you mean, sir? A man has a right to a toothbrush and a house.
Oh yeah, I don't mind you having a toothbrush or a house. But why do you earn all of Lincolnshire and half of Norfolk? What possible good do you do there?
Well, I suppose I use the money to fund libraries and fund scholars and monks.
Oh yes, and think how you get that money. All the people who you starve to death that your scholars may have their lunches. More than that, think of all the laws you have to have, just so you can earn so much while others earn so little. And then think of all the court officials that you have to enforce the laws, and all the warriors to guard the court officials, and all the misery they create. No, Thomas, no! You can't have happiness on this side of the world while you have private property. But I don't expect you to believe me. No, for you have never been to Utopia. Come with me, Thomas. Come to Utopia.